Okay, I'm gonna try to do a quick little scuffed guide on Nova. Alright, I'll scroll down through all my lock skills, just copy that. Icy Fog is the most important one, so you can dash out of Pre-Awakening. Okay, I'm gonna quickly run over everything you want for PvP. You're gonna want everything in Awakening, and then your core is gonna be between Soothing Ring, Frozen Ring, and Starfall. These two are great catches, and this is good protection for group fights. In your main hand, you're gonna want Chain Strike for your bomb, Icy Thorns for a bomb. You're gonna want to lock those. Punishing Trap and Quartum's Opening are both. This is your grab and your dash after your grab. The Quartum's protection is 50 DP when you block. The SF is a great stun catch. The forward F is a good super armor movement. Mauling Stars for your bomb, lock it. And then you want Shift 11B. It's a solid SA catch. Shift right mouse win is for a bomb. And then Shift F is a great swap into SA if you're coming from from Awakening into Pre-Awakening. I'll tell you more about this later. This is your summons. They just stun stiff people for you. Winter Tetsudo is an ice wall. It's very desyncy, very good for PvP. Icy Kiss is a self buff. Icy Fog Lock. Icy Prison is a good like range CC. Quartum's Binding, you actually want maxed. It's a freeze for 6 seconds. This is insane. It's a guaranteed reset combo. So if you grab and you're in a bad position, you don't have cooldowns, you're going to freeze with it, and then you're going to be able to get your cooldowns down and combo properly. Quartum's Guard is necessary for your E buff and Awakening, and then your passives. For your bombs, your priority is Quartum's Earth, which is Mauling Star and Frozen Darkness. You put it on your hotbar, and it's going to be used in a combo later, and just it has a down smash and it's great damage. It'll come out so smooth, and it's just very good overall. Frozen Chain is re-CC. It's just I solely use it for float if you have everything else on cooldown, but otherwise it's not really priority. And then your 57 Rebomb is this one's for PvE mainly. It's a minus DP debuff, and Binding Star is a freeze for 4 seconds. I don't really use either of these in PvP, but if you feel comfortable, try them out. Okay, very quickly, these are my add-ons. I'm not going to read them out or anything. This is just what I use for open world PvP mainly. I have not tried a different build for Arena of Solaire, so you might want to playtest with that. I'm going to start with pre-buffing. Pre-buffing, there's only like 3 or 4. Oddly enough, your third auto attack gives you an AP buff. This isn't really practical or anything. Your SQ gives you an AP buff. You can also each hit of it, I believe, refreshes it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. It'll refresh it. SF is your most important pre-buff. It's a good SA rotation. You should always have this up. And then in pre-awakening, your F key is Icy Kiss. I don't think you have to level this up at all. No, yeah, you do. Absolute is 20%. Hit F, and then dash out. It's a 10-second buff. It's not bad, but it wouldn't be priority. SF is your main priority. Okay, so we're gonna start with your grab. Your grab is WE. It's a ranged grab. It's very desyncy. You're gonna miss it a lot. It's gonna desync a lot, and you're just gonna straight up miss because you actually have to aim it. It's a 20-second cooldown. It's still very good though, to be honest. When it's back up, we'll see. So your best way to use your grab is having your SF buff up. You're actually gonna go SF dash and then WE right after. It's very fast. It's your best way to grab, and honestly, I wouldn't grab in many other situations. So as an example, easy. You also saw right there that I KD'd with the WF and then grab. That actually happens a lot more than you would think, and it instantly CC caps, but still, like that. It's a great way. It's very predictable when when you're fighting people who know how to counter it. They're gonna iframe. They're gonna see you dash up and instantly move out of the way, and you're gonna miss a lot. Okay, for your bread and butter combo, you're gonna start with grab usually, but it can work out of other things. You're gonna grab, backdash, F, SL and B, full thing, shift right mouse button, and then right after shift right mouse button, you're gonna hit SQ, and it's gonna do the air attack damage, and then you're gonna hit Q, forward F, Quartum's Earth. So let's show it real quick this time. Not gonna be slow. Grab, backdash, F, SL and B, shift right mouse, SQ, Q, dash, Quartums Earth. Very clean, high damage. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the combo that you would use with Quartums Binding if your combos, if your CDs are ever on cooldown. This is very broken. It's a guaranteed reset. So let's just say you grab whatever scenario, you wait for them to about to stand up, and then use it. They have to just be standing up for it to be used. They're on a 6-second freeze. They're gonna come out of it, and then you're gonna be able to re-CC them again. Whatever combo you want to do. But that is a guaranteed reset every time you land that freeze, and it's just very strong. Some of Nova's best catches are WF, F, SQ, Shift Q, and Shift Right Mouse Button. You can always freestyle your combos with different catches. Like Shift Q is a great catch instead of grab, and then stun, and then your combo from there is the exact same thing. A good way to get behind people's forward guards is using SF, dash, and then F for a good stun, and then combo from there. There's no real set combo for group PvP. If you catch someone in a group, like say with Shift Q, you can just rotate SA CCs, try to throw out a Starfall without getting CC'd, forward guards. It's pretty much all freestyle. There's no real set combo because we're not super protected. But for the most part, you're going to want to catch with Shift Q, stun, and then try to just throw out quick re-CCs because everything else is unprotected. Starcalls has a very long startup animation, but it can cancel out of almost any skill in your kit. The only skill I know of that doesn't let you cancel Starcall is Shift Q. So you never want to do Shift Q into Shift Left Mouse Button. It just gives you the long animation. Now, of course, sometimes using the long animation for Starcall will work for the forward guard if you want, but it will keep you in place. But you can dash out of it always. So use the long animation, and I can just dash out of it. Okay, Starfall has an animation startup that you can be canceled very consistently. You always want to use it after one of these skills. You can use it after SL and B, pretty much any point of that skill. F, you can use it out of a sideways vacuum, so throw it out like that, and it'll cancel it. And you can do it after Shift Q. That's more of a PvE thing, though. Swooping Ring also has a cancel for the startup animation, and that's just out of a dash. Another very useful cancel on Awakening Nova is your WF cancel. It is Comet. The regular WF from Standstill has an animation, but after almost any skill, if you use WF, you'll do the fast animation like this, just instantly. You actually don't have to use a regular skill, you can just use it in auto attack. So you can just auto WF. You can actually do it so fast that you won't see the auto attack either, so just instant dash without ever having to use a skill. Catches a lot of people off guard. So another auto attack animation cancel would be with WQ. It's the exact same way as Comet, except with WQ. So you can be at a standstill, and you just skip the entire animation to start up. It's very slow normally, but you can also do it after normal skills, like this. It's the exact same thing as Comet. Okay, there's a few ways to use your vacuums. You can just do normally with right mouse button. You can do a direction, A or D, and then do right mouse button and throw them out further. It's just a little bit further. The quickest way to throw out your vacuums would be RMB and then A or D RMB, but do not let go of RMB. So, and it quickly builds up. You can also do the opposite, and it'll put you in your iframe as fast as you can. So just do a directional and then a regular, and then dash, and both will come out before the second animation even finishes. Okay, for some useful abilities in pre-awakening, these aren't really mandatory at all. You can go by without them forever if you want, but storing star is a protected bound. Shift left mouse button is a protected float. Right mice is a protected stun. And command opening will send out your minions in a super armor forward guard at the enemy if you point it at them. Now quickly I'll show you all of them. Here's Storming Star. It'll do a wind up, but you can cancel it early. And it'll give you a bound. Shift left mouse button is a protected float. SF is a protected stun. And then you have to use command opening from your hotbar. And it'll give you full protections, and it'll stiff from a distance. Very RNG. If you're ever fighting a class like a Sork or a DK without a grab, or like a Musa or Mewa, you can try rotating some of these skills in SA to catch them, and you're protected the entire time. The only danger is if they can burst you down in super armor or even break your block and kill you. One thing to know about shift left mouse button is that if you miss your grab, you can hold E to do your dash and then do shift left mouse button faster, so it'll come out quicker. And you can also mouse move it. One thing to note about your grab is if you miss it or someone desyncs it, you can hold E and it'll give you another dash. If you ever want to get into your pre-awakening safely with super armor, you can hit shift F in awakening, and it'll instantly go into super armor and block. You can use Winter Tetsudo to bring up an ice wall that'll cause a lot of desync and mayhem for people if they run into it. But if you try to move or dash out of it, it'll disappear with you, like that. So Icy Prison has two uses. You can use in a block, like this. You can just send it out, and it'll send your minions out and just do damage and float. There's also another use where if you're not in block and you throw it out, it'll freeze your enemy. So there's a way to get the freeze instantly because you're gonna be in block most of the time, right? So you can auto attack and it'll instantly take you out of guard. So auto attack and then SE and it'll throw out the freeze if you want. But that is both either or are unprotected, so be careful. All right, when you have 100% Star's Breath, you can enter Excel with your E button or WQ. When you enter Excel, a lot of your skills change. WQ being a new skill completely, you can use WRB and WQ separately. Frozen Ring is faster and does a little less damage, but it usually combos better. SLMB is way more damage, but it can't be used on cooldown. SF is way worse. It locks you in place. You can't WF out of it, and it's just slower and does less damage. Star's Call is almost the exact same and maybe do a little more damage, but otherwise it's the same. Your dashes also change. Your first dash becomes invincible solely, but it has no protections on cooldown, so it's very dangerous in a group if you don't have your E buff up, which gives you super armor. Your LMB after your dash is also on a longer cooldown. You also get a new version of your vacuums. It is essentially the same, except they heal you when you turn them back in with the down right mouse button. They recover 300 HP each, so 600 HP every time you do it. If you enter Excel with your E button and then use your E buff, it'll actually restore 500 HP as well. Otherwise, it will consume HP but recover 25% Star's Breath, which you may want in some scenarios to get to Excel faster. And your combo in Excel is the same as non-Excel, except you can use WQ for more damage at the end. Okay, a tip for building Excel as fast as you can is when you're coming out of Excel, like say you're below 30%, you throw out your two vacuums and then wait for it to cancel. And then throw out another two vacuums and then consume them, and you get 20% instead of 10% normally. So for your Black Spear skills, I wouldn't really recommend using any of these. The Frozen Ring is good for PvE, but it's not that great in PvP. Otherwise, the other three are all pretty decent for knocking off horses. That's the only real use I ever have them for. That about covers everything I know about this class for the most part. I didn't really show Excel because it's basically the same gameplay. You just have to watch your dashes and maybe you just work around the slightly different skills. But for the most part, this class is just knowing your cooldowns, rotating SA, fishing for catches, surprising people with your your movement, like just in Excel, just like people can't react to that. You just have to play around all that shit. Otherwise, good luck.